A third of teenage girls suffer sexual abuse in a relationship, and a quarter experience violence at the hands of their boyfriends. A survey by the NSPCC and the University of Bristol found that nearly 9 out of 10 girls aged 13 to 17 had been in an intimate relationship. With me now is Stephanie Mallas. She's from the Brook Advisory Service, which offers young people sexual health advice and information. Welcome to Channel M Today. On the face of it, Stephanie, that is a very scary statistic. 9 out of 10 girls aged 13 to 17 have been in an intimate relationship. What would you imagine the definition there of intimate relationship would be?
I think it could be anything from perhaps holding hands or moving through to being sexually active. I think it's quite a broad statement to make, but it does catch the headlines.
Because on the face of it, you read that and you think, you know, 9 out of 10 girls are sexually active between 13 and 17. That's not your experience, surely?
No, it isn't. We're often seeing young people who come into our clinic, which is based in Manchester, and they're young girls who are often not sexually active. They're inquiring, they're trying to find out the facts, about trying to sift through some of the facts from the fiction. And we're finding that they're wanting to know these facts because it's all getting a bit garbled from mates in the playground and those sorts of things.
What are the myths, then? What are the playground myths that still do the rounds? I mean, we like to think of ourselves in a sexually enlightened age. In fact, sometimes, you know, young girls are criticised for being, sexualised in the media too early. But I bet the myths are still there, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult being put on the spot trying to think of some of the myths, but I'm going to have to...
If you kiss, you'll get pregnant, no?
Yeah.
Those things, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and if you're having your period, you won't get pregnant.
Right.
You know, which is a myth. If you have sex stood up, you won't get pregnant. That flavoured condoms actually have pieces of fruit in them of that appropriate flavour. So, for example, strawberry condoms have strawberry bits in them.
Well, I can tell you that wasn't the kind of playground myth that was doing the round when I was in the playground. So what age are the people who are coming to the Brook Advisory Centres these days? Are they as young as 13?
Yeah, we do see young people who are coming in as young as 13, but more often than not, that age group are making inquiries. They are sifting through the information they've got. As they're getting older, we are seeing young people who are perhaps 14, 15, who are sexually active, who are experimenting in a normal way.
And are these girls for the most part, or do boys come as well?
We see around 20% of our clients that we see are males. So we are seeing a growing number of males, of boys and young men who are coming into the service, but the majority remain girls.
The statistics notwithstanding, I mean, the story is important. The pressure that there is on teenagers today to be engaged in a sexual relationship actively earlier than they wish to be, there must be people talking to you about things like that, especially if it's girls with perhaps older boyfriends. Yeah,
definitely. You know, the pressure that our young people are under is quite enormous. You know, the peer pressure from school, just as it was when perhaps we were kids, you know, go on. But the influence of the internet, mobile phone technology, all of those pressures that weren't perhaps as prevalent as they are today is huge for those young people, and they need some equipment in their toolkit to try and resist some of those. And
that's the kind of information you provide, how to have a relationship and to deal with it and the pressures that go along with it. Then
a lot of a proportion of our work is out in education settings. So we have an outreach team who go out into schools and into colleges to talk to groups of young people about their lives, what's going on, issues around consent, about delaying sexual activity and things that they need to think about. You know, what constitutes a good relationship, you know, what might raise some concerns for them, and that's very much what the research was saying around some of the abuse within relationships. What we advocate is that the sooner we start talking to young people, to children, about relationships, then the better, so that they can recognise something that's harmful against something that's a good relationship. Yeah,
the sooner they can make that distinction themselves and learn that it's acceptable to say no, the better. And Stephanie, always nice to talk to you. Thank you. And if you want a bit of information, you saw the website there, which is brook.org.uk.